Hey there, this is Mike Schmidt from Anchorwave Internet Solutions. Today I'm going to walk you through something I'm calling the bottom line playbook. These are web strategies that bring more customers and more revenue. What I want to share with you first is a simple equation. Most people will say, I want more customers and I want more revenue. But what they don't always think is that those two results are driven by another set of variables. For example, total customers is driven by how many total leads you get or total website visitors times the number of people who actually buy from you, your conversion rate. And revenue is actually the number of people who buy from you times the number of times they might buy from you over a certain period of time, how much they spend with you each time, and that's what equals your revenue. So let's take a look at some numbers as an example of some different ways that we might look at this equation. So let's say, for example, your website has 50,000 visitors in a given month, and you convert 1% of those. Then each of those customers buys from you 3 times and spends $50. So your total customers is 500, and your total revenue is $75,000. Now, let's see what would happen if we take each of the variables and increase those by 10%. So our 50,000 visitors would go to 55,000. We'd have a 1.1% conversion rate instead. We'd have 3.3 purchases from each customer on average, and the average dollar sale would move from $50 to $55. So that means that we have 605 customers and $109,000 in revenue. So that's pretty interesting. So what does this tell us? That a 10% increase in each area renders much more than a 10% increase in the total revenue. It actually is 45.5%. So pretty amazing. Now, some of you might be thinking now, can I realistically expect to increase each of these areas by 10%? And I believe it's possible, but it's going to take a lot of work. For example, conversion rate is going to be a tough one to get a 10% increase on in comparison to website visitors, which might be a little bit easier to do. So let's run these numbers again. Let's this time, instead of doing a 10% increase in each area, let's do a 3% increase. So here are our original equation, our baseline numbers. So what happens if we increase this by 3%? What's the result? Let's take a look here. So we go from $75,000 in revenue to a little over $84,000 in revenue. So this is actually a 12.5% increase for a 3% increase in each of those areas. So really what happens now is we are going to want to focus on how do we increase the website visitors, the conversion rate, the average number of repeat sales, and the average dollar sale, because those are the things we can actually control. So let's now take a look at the playbook. What are the types of things we can do to improve these areas? So here's our strategies. So website visitors. I've got a lot of strategies here. I'll just kind of breeze over the highlights. Search engine optimization, obviously a great way for you to get more exposure to the targeted people who are looking for you. Email newsletters is a way to get more people coming to your website. Social media like Twitter and Facebook is another way that we can get more visitors to your website without a lot of cost. Conversion rate. So what percentage of the people who are coming to your website are going to purchase? What can we do to improve that? Having a very clear definition of what makes you different. Written guarantees, special offers, audio and video demonstrations, having customer testimonials, giving away things that are of perceived value. There's a lot of ways that you can increase your conversion rate by making changes to your website and making sure that the person coming to the website has a reason to buy in and feels compelled to do so. Average number of repeat sales. Keeping in regular contact with the people who buy from you. Maintaining a database of customers who've purchased from you or contacted you in the past would be an easy way for you to then reach out to them and ask them to purchase again. Again, we're seeing social media as another way for you to reach out to those customers who might want to purchase from you once again. And then finally, average dollar sale. What can we do to increase the amount somebody purchases each time they come to the website? Having upsells and add-ons, redesigning the site layout so that way your products are easier to see or even your services are easier to understand. Using live chat to speak with somebody who might be visiting your website and letting them know of other products and services they might consider. Again, audio or video promotions. So there's a lot of things that might fall into separate categories, but with a different look at it, we can we can kind of see how that might have an impact on average dollar sale or conversion rate or the other categories there. So what you might be thinking now is I've spoken a lot about how you can increase sales through your website. And I understand a lot of people aren't selling product through their website, but you can look at these strategies and understand how somebody who might be thinking about getting in contact with you, picking up the phones, filling out a contact form, some of these strategies can help them to do that more often. And really now we can look at this playbook as a complete equation, that there's ways to increase your each of these variables to really drive total customers and total revenue. So let's have a quick recap here, what we've kind of discovered here today. Total customers and revenue is actually controlled by other variables. When you think I want more customers and I want more revenue, what you should really be asking is, how do I get more visitors, better conversion rate, having those same people buy from me more often, and having them spend more money each time they do buy with me. Small increases in each area render big results in your bottom line. So remember, we looked at a 10% increase in each of these areas actually rendered an overall percentage increase of 45.5%. So little improvements in each of these areas actually have big payouts at the end. There are countless strategies for improvement. Some ones that I covered today are just kind of brushing the surface, and I would be glad to speak with you if you have an idea about how you want to improve that, or maybe you're looking for a recommendation or suggestion as to how you can improve one of these or all of these areas. And one thing to think is that your website has room for improvement. Every site does, and there's little things that can be done that might drive bigger results in the areas of number of customers and total revenue. This is Mike Schmidt from Anchorwave Internet Solutions. Today we've gone over the playbook for internet marketing and strategies and improvements to your website. I'd be glad to speak with you guys. If you have any questions, visit our website at anchorwave.com, or you can give us a call, 520-622-3731. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you guys soon.